Okay, we should be live. We should be live. What's going on, guys? A quick little live stream on this Friday evening. You love to see it. Some obviously big fight this weekend. Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. Undisputed fight at 168. I'm leaning toward, well, I'm backing Canelo Alvarez in a big way. I'm not expecting Caleb Plant to really pose too many problems for Canelo Alvarez. Maybe in the first couple of rounds when he's fresh, when he's quick. But I think eventually, or sooner rather than later, I should say, Caleb Plant's gonna know his role, and he's gonna slowly get dissected and beaten up. But it'll be interesting. He does look in good shape. He's taller, he's longer, he's relatively quick. I mean, hopefully Caleb Plant makes it a good fight. That's really all I'm hoping for in that fight, is it to be relatively competitive and enjoyable, you know? Because truth be told, I'm not a big fan of either guy, so I couldn't care less who wins that fight. I just want to see a competitive fight, but quite frankly, I don't think we're going to get one, you know? I think Canelo's going to fuck this dude up. I think Canelo's way too good, way too experienced, way too seasoned. And I think you'll see Caleb Plant get dissected. Big up to Felipe Percha. Salute to Felipe. Big up to Unrivaled Boxing Talk. And also Chris in the house. Big up to Chris. Evening, gents. A lot of people are hoping for Plant to get hurt bad in this fight. Why do people hate him? I think he just comes across extremely arrogant. To me, at least, I think he comes across extremely arrogant. I think he's kind of, I'll be honest, I think his whole demeanor, his act is kind of cringe. You know, I'm not a particularly big fan of Caleb Plant. To me, he comes across extremely unlikable. But that's just me. That's just me. And quite frankly, I don't think he's a great champion. I don't think he's a genuine world-class top 5 fighter, if I'm being honest. He's a belt holder, but I don't think he's genuine world-class. I really don't. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Caleb Plant's one of those guys who, you know, those guys who don't show everything they have until they're at that big stage. Those guys do exist, but I don't think Caleb Plant is one of those guys, quite frankly. Caleb Plant is a good sort of top 10 guy in the division, but for me, he's a weak belt holder, quite frankly. Yeah, big up to Alex. He says Devin Haney has a 8-inch reach advantage over Jojo Diaz. Yeah, Devin's a lot taller. Well, he's a fair bit taller and a lot longer. I'd imagine Devin Haney wins that fight on points. Jojo Diaz, he's a good fighter, Jojo, but to me, Jojo's not a lightweight, in my opinion. Jojo's a lazy super featherweight. That's what Jojo is. But yeah, I think Devin's going to win that fight relatively comfortably on points. Big up to, I don't know, big up to you. Okay, 7 inches. Okay, yeah, still significant. 7-inch reach advantage is significant. Yeah, people keep saying Plant is coming to win. My question is he really? Yeah, I think he is. Like right now, I think his energy is genuine, but whether that carries out in the fight or not is completely different. When I look at Caleb Plant, he always constantly brings up his outside the ring struggles. And to me, at times, it feels like he's trying to convince himself that if it really gets bad in there, he can fight through it and come out on top. I think this guy is going to go into his shell real quick in this fight. I'm not convinced by Caleb's talk. I think he's genuine with it, but at the same time, I think it'll go out the window when he gets hit a few times. I really do. I really do. I mean, look at the Uskatigi fight in the last 4 rounds. Caleb Plant was holding on for dear life. He was gassing. He got hurt in round 9. Take the knockdowns out of that fight. It's an extremely close fight. Caleb Plant's one of those guys, I feel like people haven't really seen this guy fight. He's never impressed me like that, Caleb Plant. He's never impressed me like that. He's one of those guys who I would describe as style over substance. He's got a nice quick jab out of that shoulder roll stance. He can land a nice little 1-2 combination, a quick right hand counter. He can do some flashy things in there, but to me, that's really all it is flash. I don't think there's much substance there with Caleb Plant. Quite frankly, would I pick Caleb Plant to beat Billy Joe Saunders if Billy Joe is at his very best? Probably not, to be honest. Probably not. Would I beat him to pick? Would I pick him to beat Callum Smith if Callum Smith wasn't struggling with weight? Probably not. So I'm not excited for this fight at all. Quite frankly, it doesn't even feel like a big fight. Like I've been looking on Twitter, and the UFC card's getting so much more traction. The Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman card, that's getting so much more traction. I would agree, yeah. 9 rounds to 3, Devin Haney. Haney versus Jojo's a cherry pick. Let's see if it goes wrong. I don't think it will, man. Like, Jojo can box a bit. He is a good fighter, but he's just too small. He doesn't have the power. For me, he's not a lightweight, Jojo Diaz. He's a lazy super featherweight, in my opinion. But is what it is, man. It is what it is. I think it's more than likely the best fight Haney could have taken, but it doesn't really fill me with much excitement, put it that way. You know, a lot of people are saying it's a great fight, but I think we all know what happens there. I'd be shocked if Jojo wins that fight. I'd be shocked. Facts, man. Yeah, I agree. Plant is not winning shit. Well, he might win a couple of rounds early on when he's fresh, but he'll get broken down. Yeah, Raphael, I agree. I don't like Caleb though, I'll be honest. But yeah, I think he has a good career, but he's a weak champion. Hasn't taken any real opposition. Canelo beat Jacobs. Jacobs KO Truax in 2015, and a 38-year-old Truax went 12 rounds with Plant. Exactly. Yeah, I agree, Alex. That looks like a good little tournament, that boxer tournament. There's a few good names in there, unbeaten prospects, older guys as well. Yeah, big up Dell. I think Caleb's just selling his story on his biggest fight night. I agree with Mike Tyson. Caleb's getting fucked up. Yeah, 100%. 100% he's getting fucked up. But none of these boxers, man, I look at Caleb Plant. He's not interesting whatsoever. Like that's one thing I'll say about the UFC. The guys in the UFC, the fighters, a lot of those guys are just so much more interesting. They're fun to listen to. But most of these boxers, man, they're fucking cringy to listen to. It's a chore to listen to these guys. Like Caleb Plant droning on about his life. Oh, my life was so hard. Like I'm not interested, bro. I'm not interested. Like, come on, man. You're highly underestimating Plant, and Uskatigi's a much bigger guy than Canelo and probably punches harder. I've got Canelo winning, but it'll be a good fight. Hopefully you're right, Sadiq. Hopefully you're right, man. I want to see a good fight. Don't get me wrong, but I just can't see it. I'll believe it when I see it. If Caleb proves me wrong, even if, let's say Caleb loses this fight, but puts on a really, really good show, he gives Canelo problems, that's a win for him. That's a win for him. That's a win for him in my eyes. I'll give him credit if he makes it competitive and loses. So, yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. Yeah, Jojo beat Fortuna, who Haney and Ryan avoided. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with the Fortuna situation, because I heard that Devin Haney wanted to fight Fortuna, but Fortuna wanted to fight Ryan Garcia. That fight got made, then Ryan Garcia pulled out. So I'm not sure what happened there, quite frankly, but it was a fucking mess. Unless Plant does something special and Canelo has a bad night, I can't see it even being close. Hopefully I'm wrong. Will be good to see someone push Canelo. Yeah, exactly, man. We've not seen Canelo get pushed since Golovkin in the second fight. So, yeah, I want to see Caleb give it a real go. Yeah, exactly. Big up to Mike, by the way. Big up Del. This is such a dull, undisputed fight. Hopefully Canelo fights Benavidez after. Yeah, because at least Benavidez will make it a fight. He'll come forwards. He'll throw punches in bunches. He has some sort of punching power as well. He's confident. But Caleb's style, man, I don't think he's going to get Canelo's respect in this fight. I really don't. Yes, big up to Gehabib. I'll call you Gehabib. No, you're not buying the life and times of Caleb Plant book anytime soon. Not for me, man. MS22, yeah, the whole sob story narrative doesn't work for me. In the UFC, they have Ngannou from a random tribe in Africa. That's a good story. Yeah, you've got guys like Ngannou, Khamzat Chimaev, born in Chechnya during the Chechnyan wars and shit. Like, their stories are so much more interesting. They put themselves forward so much better. Maybe are they trained to do that in the UFC? Maybe, but it's much more palatable when you watch these guys and listen to these guys in interviews. That's one thing most boxers don't get is how to sell yourself. Like, most of these guys are cookie cutter, boring as fuck, cliche trash talk. It's boring, man. I mean, look at Colby Covington. That guy is a marketing genius, Colby Covington. That guy was a boring wrestler a few years ago. He was humble. He wasn't talking trash. And the UFC said, oh, we don't like your style. You're not a needle mover, so we're going to cut you. Then Colby Covington turned around, had one fight left on his contract against Damian Maia. He won the fight in Brazil, and then he basically trash-talked the whole of Brazil, called them filthy animals, etc., etc. And he came up with this persona, WWE persona, started to wear a MAGA hat and shit. Like, Colby Covington is a marketing genius, honestly. He really is. He knows how emotionally incontinent most people are. He knows how partisan most people are when it comes to politics, and he's playing right into that. He came from a guy who was a nobody, who never talks shit, to coming up with the best gimmick in combat sports. And that's what you get in the UFC. You get some fun. You get some excitement. It's not just about the fight. That's what a lot of hardcore fans neglect, in my opinion. They say, oh, I just want to see the guy fight. But it does have to be more than that to a certain degree. It does have to be more than that. You've got to sell yourself. And most of these boxers don't do that. Like, listening to Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney talk shit to each other. Oh, I've got more social media followers. That's not fun. That's not entertaining. You know, I want to hear Kamaru Usman say, I'm going to break the other half of your face and your dad's embarrassed of you. I want to see Colby Covington say, oh, your dad's locked up, and all that shit. Like, there's no fun fighters in boxing, there's very few fun fighters in boxing. That's my problem with boxing right now. Big up to John Gonzalez. Big up to Cheat Nello Alvarez. But yeah, that's my little rant on boxing. If I was a fighter, I would talk so much shit. I'd find myself an angle, but I would talk so much shit. And I would try to offend as many people as possible. But yeah, could surprise us. Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders fight might still be in people's minds. Disappointing. Yeah, maybe. Salute, I see it going full 12. Billy Joe Saunders, more of a 160-pounder than Callum Smith on short notice and went 12, yeah. Plant's jab and lateral movement will help him a lot. I think it will early on, Julio Cesar Martinez, but the thing is, man, his legs start to dwindle as the rounds go on. We saw that in the Porky Medina fight, and even against Uskatigi, he really slowed down in regards to movement. So maybe early on, but Canelo's going to get to this dude, honestly. Chris Billam-Smith against a non-puncher in Bregon. If he fought a puncher who can fight on the inside, he would get sparked. Did Matchroom dodge the Italian Mike Tyson and Fabio Turci? Maybe. I heard he was going to fight Alexei Papin, but that never happened. That's a good fight. Ishmael Barroso, O'Hara Davis. That's a good fight. I'm not sure who to pick in that one. I think I'm going to go to Yard versus Arthur. Could be interesting, and crowd will be invested in the fight. Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. I think Yard's going to win the rematch, the Londoner. I really do. I think he's going to let his hands go this time, because when he did in that first fight, he hurt Lyndon Arthur when he let his hands go, but he didn't do it enough. I think he'll knock out Arthur in the rematch. I really do. Because Yard knows it's last chance to loon, so he needs to win that fucking fight. Is Prince Patel still ranked? No, probably not. Yeah, David Nika, yeah, he's a good fighter. I saw him on the undercard of Joseph Parker versus Junior Farr a few months ago, and he's all right, you know. He's a good prospect. He's tall, he's rangy, he carries power. He'll be a good cruiserweight, David Nika, yeah, and he's on the undercard of Chisora Parker too. And by the way, what a fight this is. Joshua Bowatsi versus Maxim Vlasov. I almost shit myself when I saw that fight got announced. I couldn't believe it. That's a huge step up for Joshua Bowatsi. Bear in mind, Maxim Vlasov right now should be the WBO light heavyweight champion of the world. He got jobbed against Joe Smith Jr. He clearly beat Joe Smith, and that's who Bowatsi's fighting next. Vlasov is nearly 6'4". He's tall. He's rangy. He's knocked out cruiserweights. He's got a great chin. He's got a great gas tank. He's versatile. He can fight at range. He can fight up close. He's herky-jerky. Bags of experience. I think Maxim Vlasov is going to beat Joshua Bowatsi. That's how I feel right now. That's a huge step up. And I have to say, I've questioned Bowatsi's career progression in previous fights. I liked the Bolotnik's fight. That was a step in the right direction. But this fight, damn, this is a good fight. Credit to Bowatsi, because a lot of fighters in that position, 15-0, whatever, prospect, they wouldn't fight Vlasov. So credit to Bowatsi. That's a damn fucking good fight. That's what I want to see, man. These guys roll the fucking dice, put their balls on the line. You know? That's a great fucking fight. And if Bowatsi wins that fight, damn, he's a contender. He's a top 10 fighter. If he beats Vlasov, in good fact, well, if he genuinely beats Vlasov, he's a top 10 contender and should get a title shot. I'll go that far. You're going to find out exactly how good Joshua Bowatsi is after this fight. We're going to find out. And that's why it's a great fight. I'm fucking pumped for that fucking fight. Plant's going to get fucked up bad. I predict he'll be bleeding by the second round. Yeah, he's got paper thin skin. Yeah, paper thin skin. Or dick skin, as BDA likes to say. Best trash talk or best talker in boxing, in your opinion? Tyson Fury is a good talker. He gets people interested. Say what you want. Deontay Wilder, he gets a reaction, and that's what you want. If you're a fighter, you want a reaction, whether people hate you or love you. You want them to watch, right? Wilder is a good talker. He is a good talker. He's got good charisma. So Fury, Wilder. Who else is knocking about? Fury, Wilder. But there's not many in boxing for me. There's not many guys who I really kind of class as good talkers, who can sell a fight kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? No, I've not paid attention to it, bro, to be honest with you. Plant's face marks up easily. Facts. Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's a good fight. Hosea Burton versus Dan Aziz. It's a good fight, the Londoner. Good fight. I'd make Burton a favourite, but Aziz can fight. Oh, no. Errol Spence is too small. Far too small. He'll get fucked up. Interesting card, Alex. I like Zan Kazabutski. I think he's a good prospect. Southpaw, hits hard. He can work the body for a heavyweight as well. Good fighter. Good fighter. Joe Joyce Wilder, that's a great fight, bro. I'd love to see it. Who wouldn't like to see that fight? That's got brain damage written all over it. To be fair, Babic can talk. I don't like the guy, but he can talk. He can sell himself. And I know, listen, ultimately, as a fight fan, we want to see the best fight the best. We want to see good fights. That's the main thing. But at the same point, it would be boring if everybody was humble as fuck and didn't really say much. You know, we do need guys who can really talk and who can really get a reaction. I just feel there's a lack of those in boxing right now, you know? And it really put it into perspective watching the UFC press conference for Covington and Usman. Like, the crowd were eating out of their hands. Crazy. It's crazy shit, man. Maybe the UFC marketing is just better. I don't know what it is, but those guys just seem far more interesting. Far more interesting. And quite frankly, I'll tell you this much. I might even watch that card, the UFC card, over the Canelo Plant card. Because Covington Usman 1 was one of the best fights I saw in 2019. And I'm a casual MMA fan, but that was one of the best fights I saw in that year. It was an amazing fight. And the card is great, man. So I might even watch UFC over boxing for that'd be like the first time ever. Tony Harrison can talk, actually. Yeah, he can talk a bit. Furman is a very good talker. Furman's a very good talker. Adrian Broner, I think Broner just purely gets by on shock value, which works. It does work, but it only works for so long, kind of thing, if that makes sense. But yeah, Keith Thurman is he's a very good talker, Keith Thurman. I always thought Keith Thurman had star potential, but he never really made the most of it. Too inactive, a lot of injuries. But yeah, Tony Harrison is a good talker. When he was trash talking Charlo, that was fucking hilarious, man. Yeah, I've got no interest whatsoever in Zach Parker, Alex Black. They're trying to cash him out against Canelo. He's not going to get that fight. Angel Garcia's funny as fuck. Yeah, I like Angel. Big up to Corey Lee Boxing. By the way, big up to Corey Lee. Check out his channel. Really, really good stuff, man. He started to upload more regularly again. Big up to Corey. Good dude, man. Been here a long time now, so big up to Corey. Crowley's entertaining. I tell you what, he might be entertaining jail soon, man. We'll see what happens. But yeah, innocent till proven guilty. Tyson versus Usyk would be a mad fight. I'm waiting for it to happen. Yep. See, he's another guy, Alexander Usyk. I'm not saying it's a gimmick. I think that's really him. But his broken English, his cheeky personality, he's found a niche that works for him, kind of thing. It's not just about talking shit. It's about finding something that works for you to endear yourself to fans. And Usyk does a good job of that. Like, he's got his little catchphrases. You know, he's kind of funny. It's all about finding your little niche kind of thing that fans like. And that's hard. That's easier said than done. Yeah, UFC matches better opposition. Yeah. I mean, look at the card this weekend, man. There's Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. That's two top 5 guys going at it. You've got Usman Covington too. It's a great card. Yeah, Prince Nazim did a great job. He was a small guy from the UK who could talk mad shit. Like, that guy should not have made as much money as he did in the USA, but he could talk. He could sell a fight. Like, people hated him, and that's why he did so well. Yeah, Usman, I'll be honest, for Londoner, I'm a casual UFC fan. And when I first watched Usman, I thought the guy was awful to watch. You know, just one of those wrestler types with the occasional right hands. He was kind of boring, but in recent fights, man, that guy's rounded out a really good skill set. His striking's got so much better. He carries good power in that right hand. He's boxing more. He's kicking more. He's looking really good. I'd say Usman right now is more than likely the best fighter in the UFC. From, as a casual, I would say Usman's the best right now. Yeah, Roy Jones, UD. Roy Jones, UD, 7 out of 10, like a convincing points win, 9 rounds to 3 kind of thing. I think you're right, Corey. Thurman, he made his money. He got married, you know. He's a chill kind of guy, man. And once that hunger was gone, I think that was it with Keith Thurman, unfortunately. Exactly, yeah. That Rolly Tank press conference was very entertaining. Both guys have kindergarten IQs. How would you see the top 5 of today against the Klitschko's? Obviously, we have seen AJ and Fury against Vlad, but how would you see them against Vitali? I think Joshua's style is tailor-made for Vitali, quite frankly. I think Joshua would be dangerous early on. He'd land his shots, but I think Vitali grinds him down for a late stoppage accumulation. Fury might be more interesting due to the herky-jerky style, but unlike Vladimir, Vitali's not just going to stand off and not throw punches. He's going to be after Tyson Fury. If it's for Tyson Fury from the Wilder fights, Vitali beats him, no doubt about it in my mind. If it's the Tyson Fury from the Vladimir fight, could be interesting, but I'd favour Vitali head to head. I'd favour Vitali. Yeah, trash talking can open many doors. Yeah. Listen, I like the humble killer. I do. I like Golovkin. I like Beterbiev. I like the humble warrior. I love Sean Porter. I like those guys, but at the same time, you want a bit of variety. I want to hear some guy cuss some guy's mum out and say he's gonna do this, that, and the other. You know, you want to mix and match. Yes, big up to Justin Trouble. Huge fan of your channel, Disturbed Reality. Big up to you, man. I've not seen it, bro, but I'll watch it. If you're saying it's good, I'll give it a check. I thought it was kind of funny, man. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was kind of funny, but I've got a low-grade sense of humor, so I would, you know. I find most things funny that aren't appropriate, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And by the way, is fucking Ben Davison in Devin Haney's corner now? Is Ben Davison working with Devin Haney? I just see an interview saying, from Ben Davison, saying Devin Haney is going to push back Jojo Diaz, etc. Ben Davison is like a bad smell, man. This guy gets everywhere. He's like mold. Fucking hell. No, I think Kambosos is going to get knocked smooth out by Tio. I really do. Kambosos is a basic pressure fighter, comes forwards in straight lines. He's somewhat awkward, but he doesn't really have a firepower, in my opinion. I think he'll get knocked out quite quickly, 4 or 5 rounds. I believe Tio's going to do a job on him, knock him out, fuck him up. Isaac Cruz, Alex Black. I would say Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz applies pressure. He does it with more power, more ferocity. Throws more punches. Isaac Cruz is basic himself, but to me, he does that style a bit better. And I'd much rather watch Isaac Cruz. I'll put it this way. I think Isaac Cruz, Tank Davis is a better fight than Teofimo Kambosos. I really do. Both are mismatches, though, but I think the Tank fight's better. Boxing's weird these days. Rolly gets a pay-per-view main event, and then some John Leslie type stories unearthed. Crazy timing. Yep, it's crazy, man. Big up to Corey Lee again, man. He says, Blue, how good do you think Conor Benn can be? I think Conor Benn, he can definitely be a really good domestic fighter. I think he could be a European champion, but he's not a world-class fighter. I can't see Conor becoming a world-level fighter. I really can't. I mean, when you compare him to fellow prospects like Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, even someone like Radzab Butayev, I think Conor Benn is a way off. I really do. And there's a reason why Team Benn are not fighting Avanesian. They was offered £500,000. What's that? Nearly $750,000, maybe something like that. They was offered silly money to fight Avanesian, and they turned it down. I think they know Conor Benn's got a lot of work to do. I don't really rate Conor all that much. Big up to G-Man, another great channel, by the way, from Ireland. Great dude as well. Really nice guy. Great boxing knowledge. Covers various topics in boxing. Big up to G-Man. Check him out if you haven't. You must have known G-Man by now, man. Does Cruz have a chance against Tank? Never seen him fight before. Quite frankly, no, in my opinion. But I think he'll make it entertaining. He comes forwards. He likes to throw the overhands, uppercuts through the middle. He carries decent power. He throws a lot of punches, but defensively, he makes a lot of mistakes and leaves a lot of openings. I think he's going to get knocked out by an uppercut from Tank Davis because Isaac Cruz comes forwards. He'll come in quite compact, but he'll lean his head over his front foot and he's open for the uppercut. He's really open for that shot. So I think Tank's going to knock him clean out, but it'll be entertaining before that happens. Yeah, Usman's got a really good jab. He does. His boxing's got so much better, Kamaru Usman. Because, like I said beforehand, he was like a boring wrestler. But now his boxing's got a lot better. He's punching hard. Usman's one of those guys who kind of won me over. Never used to like him, but his style's got much more entertaining. And his knockout over Jorge Masvidal was fucking great, man. Great knockout. If I had more time, I could see myself being a big UFC fan. But you know what it is, man. I love boxing. And I've not got time to really follow both sports closely. So boxing's always going to be my sport. But if I had like time, I'd get into the UFC, no doubt about it. The product, I am jealous of the product of the UFC. They do it so much better than boxing. They really do. Yeah, my favourite part was when Rowley called Tank T-Rex arms and said his dick was longer than his arms. Yeah, Ben is being matched so carefully. Hearn knows Ben is not going that far. Yeah, I agree, G-Man. I agree. I think they want to keep like Conor ready for some domestic pay-per-views, like maybe get a Khan fight. They want to make their money on Conor first before they throw him in the deep end. We got the CJNG hit squad in the house. Plant is food for Canelo. Facts. Big up to El Mencho. Salute. Ennis or Ortiz, who have you got? Do you know what? That fight is so hard to call. I actually think Virgil Ortiz is fundamentally better. Like, he does the basic fundamentals better than Jaron Ennis. But Ennis does have really good athletic ability. He's quite accurate. He's got good reflexes and he carries power. And he's big for that weight class as well. Regardless of who wins that fight, it's a fight of the year contender. I'll say that. But I'm gonna sit on that one for now. But I see some hate for Jaron Ennis. I don't mind Ennis at all. He doesn't seem like he seems quite humble. You know? He's good to watch. Are you serious? Ben versus Algieri next. Fuck me. Chris Algieri couldn't knock out a good wank. Are you serious? It's not Chris Algieri, is it? Oh my goodness me. Chris Algieri. Oh my God. Honestly, I'd rather watch those fucked up cartel videos than watch that cunt fight. Chris Algieri. Oh my goodness. Shit fight. Yeah, hit the like, man. Smash the like. Oh, Cruz by second round KO. Who would have won in your opinion, Otto or White? I was picking White on points or late stoppage. But I think Wallin would have been interesting and competitive. I think he got the win, Conor Benn, but it was a close fight. I think he learned a lot, yeah. Yeah, against that Payanord guy, the French guy. Yeah, he learned a lot in that fight, no doubt, no doubt about it. Cruz team, I've heard, going for immediate KO. That's what they should. That's what they should do. Honestly, no, I can't stand that dude, Bad Nasher, that Paddy Pimlet. I can't stand him. He's got a shit haircut. Like, to me, Michael Bisping was the embodiment of like a working class Brit, like tough cunt, not the most skilled, but he'd come to fight. Paddy Pimlet to me is just a troll kind of thing, and it's working for him. It's working for him, and he's doing what I said they need to do is create a profile, create a character, and it's working for him. I just don't like that particular character. I want to see him get knocked out, quite frankly. Yeah, Peter Yan is great to watch. His fight with Corey Sandhagen, man, fucking hell, great fight. He's got great feet as well, Shadow Combat, Peter Yan. Great feet. Yeah, Rody is shit, yeah. Can't imagine Tank will have been training too hard for him. If he turns up like the Gamboa fight, I'd pick Cruz. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Alex. I do think Cruz is better than Rolly Romero. I do. I think he's better. He seems to be taking some L's recently, CJNG. He is a good investment, yeah, as for a promoter in the UK, yeah. They can make some big money off Conor Benn. But in terms of like becoming a world champion and like, you know, really becoming an elite fighter, I can't really see it, to be honest. Can't really see it. Paddy the Baddy's a good laugh. He's not my cup of tea, to be honest. He's not my cup of tea. But then again, I guess I hate British fighters. I'm not a big fan of a lot of these guys, man. See, I like Michael Bisping. To me, that's what a British fighter should be. Arrogant, talk shit, not the best in the world, but you know, he's a tough cunt. That's what a British fighter should be. In my opinion, you know, he's cut from that like Ben Eubank sort of cloth. Just a tough SOB. Because British fighters used to have that reputation of not always being the best, but always being super tough. But we lost that in recent years. Like British fighters right now, man, have been taking L's, and it's not that they've been losing fights. It's how they've lost these fights, taking knees and shit, quitting, all that shit. Like these guys, man. It depends who it is. Crazy. Like, I'll give you an example. Like Khabib, for me, I always liked watching that guy on the ground because his ground game was always really aggressive. He had like an aggressive style of wrestling. But other guys, like Usman back in the day, before I liked Usman when he was just a wrestler, he basically took a guy down and laid on him. That's not entertaining. But I like wrestling if it's aggressive. Favorite fighter of all time of any art? I mean, my favorite fighter of all time is James Toney. To me, that guy just embodies what a fighter should be. Anyone, anywhere, anytime. Even if he's not in shape all the time, he's a fucking fighter kind of thing. So James Toney's my favorite of all time in terms of, especially in regards to boxing. As for UFC, I mean, I'm a casual, so my favorite UFC fighter is either Khabib or Michael Bisping. Yeah, Ben Algieri, garbage fight. Garbage fight. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Exactly. Exactly, G-Man, another non-puncher. Yeah, Algieri fought earlier this year. He fought on Triller, and he looks okay, but he wasn't fighting anybody good. I've never heard DAZN refer to those guys as like Black British, etc. Maybe that's the American commentary team. Big up to Marianne G, by the way. Salute to Marianne G. Yeah, CJNG keeping tabs on Dell. Yeah, I need to get one of these guys, man, and interview them. That's what I need. Are you serious, Levi? Easy money on Canelo. I've got 20 G's on the line. Are you serious? 20 Gs. I think you're safe, man. I think you're safe, but still, 20 Gs is 20 Gs. A Dickie DeGuns fantasy fight. Who wins? Tank Davis versus Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Oh, Julio Cesar Chavez, man. Easy. Easy work. He's going to dig that body out and take that guy out, man. I was watching Julio Cesar Chavez the other day, actually, the Meldrick Taylor fight. And that was a tremendous fucking fight. Like, Meldrick Taylor was winning. He was outlanding Chavez, outboxing him at times, outspeeding him. But Chavez's power punches to the body, man, took so much out of Meldrick Taylor. And his punches were just so damaging. I liked watching Chavez. Well, I wasn't around, but I like watching his fights back, Chavez Sr. Chavez Sr. knocks out Tank Davis. 7 to 9 rounds. Yeah, he does. Yeah, Jay from In Betweeners. Yeah, Paddy the Baddy. I agree with this, Levi. Yeah, we shall see. He might get me too'd, Levi. He might get me too'd. Paddy's got a 1980s CJNG haircut. Yeah, Carl Froch as well. Tough dude. Tough dude. That's what I'm saying, though. These guys in this era are just far too soft, in my opinion. Josh Taylor's one, though. He's a tough fucker. He's a tough cunt, Josh Taylor. That's what I expect from, like, a British fighter. Win, lose, or draw, you got to be tough. You know, you got to show that heart. Yeah, I like Bisping is a tough fucking guy, man. He wasn't like... He was never truly world. I know he won the UFC title, but he was never truly like the man. But the guy was tough as fuck, man. The guy gave up his eye for his sport, kind of thing. That guy would fight anybody. Tough fucking guy, Michael Bisping. Tough fucking guy. Yeah, the undercard is shit. Levi Khan. It's not even worth talking about. It's good though, because when that card is on, I'll watch the UFC undercard. The UFC undercard's really good, so I'll watch that. What do you think of Jose Vargas getting TKO'd, and do you think he'll come back and be a winner? No, man. I don't think so, man. That defeat's going to be hard to come back from. It's going to be hard to come back from. And honestly, I was so glad to see Zepeda knock that dude out. That guy was so belligerent, talking so much shit, and he got fucking flattened in a round. See, that's the thing about talking shit. Like, you know, I think guys do need to do it. Certain guys need to do it to make a profile. But if it goes wrong, you're going to look like a fucking idiot. Like, Jose Vargas turned into a meme after that fight. Big up to Nordic. Salute to Nordic. Caleb Plant's going to shock the world and make it out of the first round before being knocked out. It's going to be more one-sided than a gang rape, honestly, that fight. It's going to be more one-sided than the amputee's dance routine. Bill Superfoot Wallace. AJ pre-Ruiz or Wilder? It's hard to think, man. Like, back in the day when they were both unbeaten, I was leaning towards Joshua. But in now, as it is now, I'd pick Wilder. I don't know, man. It's a 50-50 fight, I think. 50-50. Who gets there first? Conor McGregor's welcome in Jalisco. Damn! You should do a video on your Disturbed Reality channel. MMA fighter beats mentally challenged man to death. It's on YouTube. It's from the 1980s, but it's brutal. Jesus Christ. I think I know the video you're referring to. Maybe I might be wrong, though. I might be wrong. Yeah, Tony. I like James Toney. That's what they're doing, CJNG. They are, you know, they're trying to market this guy to the casual audience. I big up to Focus on Creativity. Sup, Del? Second amateur fight. Wish me luck. Listen, man, go and do your thing, man. Get the knockout. Leave no stone unturned. Don't have any regrets once that bell goes. Just do your thing, man, and good luck. And much respect as well for really, for actually stepping in there. I never had the discipline to box. So I was training for a little while. I started boxing at 16. I trained for a little while. Got to the point where I was going to have an amateur fight. That fight got cancelled. I don't really know why, to be honest, but it got cancelled. I couldn't get another fight after that. Then life came in, life got in the way. I got another job and, I just kind of fell out of love with it, I guess. So don't do what I did. Just stick with it. Stick with it, man. For me, MMA would be Anderson Silva. Muay Thai would be Giorgio Petrosin. Wrestler would be Alexander Karelin. Interesting. Yeah, Chavez was breaking him down. He's a clown, in my opinion. Paddy Pimblett. He's a clown. I can't fucking talk. Yeah, I might be under the influence right now. Yeah, Scott Fitzgerald. What's the news on him? I saw a lot on Twitter. Yeah, so there's a few photos going around of Scott Fitzgerald looking in not great shape. Put it that way. He looks strung out on drugs. Scott Fitzgerald. So yeah, that guy is in a bad way. But we knew that with Scott Fitzgerald. He was always a ticking time bomb. And it is what it is, man. I mean, it's sad, but if you don't want to help yourself, you can't exactly. It's not going to change, is it? So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, he gets better. What if Plant clearly beats Canelo? What will that mean? In my opinion, it would put shade on a lot of Canelo's previous fights because, to me, Caleb Plant is not good at all. He's a belt holder. I don't rate Caleb whatsoever, but I was thinking about this earlier. If it is a close fight, let's say, even if it's just competitive but not necessarily close, let's say we all think Canelo won 8 rounds to 4. Could PBC and Al Heyman pull a robbery or maybe pull a draw, something like that? Could they do that to get Canelo to fight again on Showtime on PBC? Maybe, man. Maybe that's all Caleb needs to do is make it competitive. Win a few rounds. See the distance. I've heard rumours he's going to fight Oscar Valdez next. That'll be a great fight. I think he'll be very competitive. I think he's got a chance. We'll see. We'll see. Oh yeah. Yeah, Taylor's got a similar is similar to Froch personality-wise. Ultra confident and a bit of a bell end. Rate both though. Froch has a brilliant resume. I liked Carl Froch, man. He wasn't perfect, but exactly, yeah. And it's become a meme as well because, like the commentators now, oh, so and so was so brave when it's like anything but. These guys are out here taking a knee, quitting. It's like, yeah, British boxing's in the fucking dregs, in my opinion. Like, Josh Taylor's the only guy I like, really, for the most part, I would say, currently. It's ridiculous, man. Yeah, Taylor is nowhere near as nasty as Froch, in my opinion. Froch was grimy. Taylor is a much better fighter, though. I would agree with that. Yeah, he's fighting Jorge Masvidal coming up. That's a good fight. Masvidal, Leon Edwards is a really good fight. Masvidal could knock him out. If it goes for distance, I think Leon Edwards wins, but Masvidal can knock that guy clean out. That's a good fight. Yeah, that's been a narrative for a little while now. Basically, ever since the Khan fight, the whole Brit Slayer thing. It's been the narrative in this country, and it made me sick when fucking the British boxing fraternity in the UK were calling Callum Smith so brave. He went 12 rounds. Man, the guy was. It's embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing. I'm not sure, man. I mean, right now I'd probably pick Wilder over Joshua. I'd probably pick Wilder, but 100% Levi. Like I saw Golovkin beat Canelo the first time. I felt he won the second fight as well, but the second fight was close. I've got no problem with the second fight, but we've seen Golovkin beat Canelo. Lara arguably beat Canelo. The Austin Trout fight was mad close. I felt the Miguel Cotto fight was closer than people really had it. Like Miguel Cotto in that fight, I thought performed really well. He lost, but to me that was a great performance by Cotto against Canelo. I thought Cotto looked great in that fight. When will Charlie Zelenov try his hand at MMA? I think he's tried it already. He got beat up by some MMA guy before. I saw that. I tried to box, but got hit in the nose and got pissed off and wanted to throw the gloves off and poke the guy's eyeballs out. You have to be disciplined, yeah. It could mean that Frank Warren is just on the zone. Yeah, I started boxing about a week before I turned 15, if memory serves me correct. But like you said, I was not disciplined. Yeah, that was my problem. I was training hard for a little period of time because I never really had many commitments back then. You know, I was at college. Yeah, I had a lot of time, so I was training quite hard. I was going to have an amateur fight, then that got cancelled. Then I started working. And yeah, I just never really got back into it like that. I kind of just fell out with it. We all know plants don't. Yeah, we all know plants don't do well this time of year. Maybe I'm wrong about Plant. Maybe he is better than I think he is. I could be wrong, but hopefully he's been juicing. I'll tell you that much. And he does look in really good shape. I will say that he looks in the best shape I've seen him in. It makes me wonder: is he training to try and have a bit more meat behind his punches? So he looks a bit thicker, Caleb Plant. He looks a bit more defined. So maybe he's trying to get Canelo's respect in there. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, maybe. But I've just never been impressed with him like that. Honestly, I think a motivated, fit Billy Joe Saunders is better than Caleb Plant. But again, I could be wrong. Yeah, sad with Fitzgerald, obviously surrounded by wrong uns, yeah. But at the same time, you do have to look at yourself at some point in time in life. You know, we can blame our surroundings, we can blame the people around us, but at some point in time, it's up to us to get ourselves out of that situation. You know, there's only so you can point the finger to a certain extent, but sometimes you just got to look in the mirror and take responsibility for your own actions. And it's up to Scott whether he wants help or not, whether he wants to change. But I don't know what the guy's been through. Who knows, man? Who knows? Shit. Focus on creativity. Thanks for that, Del. I honestly look forward to your videos. But dang, dude, you're like a bi-weekly post kind of guy. Laugh out loud. YouTube better start kicking in that money for this channel. It's highly valued. Yeah, man. I mean, when it comes to these live streams, I'll do it when I'm in the mood, kind of thing. But you know, it's just time. It's time constraints. You know, full-time work, social shit, the other channel, other hobbies. It's just time, man. It's just time. Yeah, he's definitely not been on the HGH, Alexander Usyk. Definitely not been on the HGH. His head's not grown. Nordic is going in on Caleb Plant. But eventually, Canelo's going to fight a guy who will give him trouble. I just don't think Caleb's that dude. And if it's anybody at 168, it's going to be Benavidez, in my opinion. I'm not saying he necessarily wins, but I think it'll be a real fight. Again, depending on the circumstances in the contract, but let's say it's legitimate, I think Benavidez will give him a real fight. They won't rob Canelo. They want him to fight on the PBC against other guys. They rob him, he won't fight there again. But if they do, let's say Plant wins a controversial decision or it's a draw, the natural fight is a rematch. Right? So yeah, he would fight on PBC again, arguably. I never saw it, bro. I never saw it. But yeah, not surprised. He's okay. I don't mind Liam Smith. Like, Liam Smith actually tried against Canelo. He just wasn't good enough. But he actually tried. See, he actually put in an effort, unlike Callum or fucking even Billy Joe to a lesser extent. He actually tried, Liam Smith, just not good enough. Who else despises Scousers? The attitude, the god-awful accent, and the entitlement is appalling. I never liked the likes of Bellew, and I don't like Paddy the Baddy. I don't mind Scousers, to be honest. One thing about Liverpool, I will say, like, if you go to Liverpool, unlike a lot of the UK, it still has an element of community cohesion. There is more of a sense of community down in Liverpool than most places in the UK. So I don't mind Liverpool. I've been, I don't mind it. But yeah, some of the fighters are arseholes. Talking of Usyk's head, the Chernobyl nuclear disaster was in April 86. Usyk was born January 87. I'm suspecting Usyk's small head is a result of nuclear fallout. Maybe that's where his boxing skills come from. Guy's a mutant in that ring. He's a mutant. Guy's great. Froch was okay, not great though. Ward showed that. Yeah, Froch was a good fighter, but yeah, not great. I still think that's Ward's best performance, Like, Ward was a guy who I couldn't stand Andre Ward in terms of style. Holding, mauling, headbutting, elbowing. Not my jazz, but the Cole Froch performance was decent, actually. I know this fight is long overdue, but my life won't be complete unless I see Kell Brook knocking out Amir Khan. Yeah, they'll probably make that fight, maybe next year, summer next year, when both guys are shot to bits. Should have happened years ago. Yeah, I think if Liam Smith had the talent Callum had, he'd have had a great chance of being a long-time champion. He had the heart, I agree. But Liam Smith's got a lot of balls. He does. Probably not. I think Fury just mauls him, gets on top of him, smothers him. Ngannou versus Gane in January 2022. Who have you got? I think Gane pulls it off. Oh, it's Gane. It's Gane, I think. Yeah, Cyril Gane. Yeah. Gane is tremendously athletic for a heavyweight in the UFC. Great in and out movement, lovely accuracy on his punches, hand speed, power, good kicks. I think he's more skilled than Ngannou. I think he's much more skilled, but if Ngannou touches him, he probably gets knocked out. It's a hard one. You can't. That's why I'm kind of getting into the UFC more. The fights are so much harder to predict. Like, who would have predicted Glover Teixeira beating Jan Blachowicz? I never saw that coming. 42-year-old Glover Teixeira, or Teixeira, however you say it. I'd probably lean towards. I think I might. I'd probably lean towards Garne or Garn, but it's a good fight. It's a hard fight. Hard fight to pick, in my opinion. Oh, the weigh-in's on. Okay, cool. Let me have a look at this in the background. Okay, let's have a look at the weigh-in. Is there going to be any shenanigans at the weigh-in? We'll see. Right, I've got it on in the background. I got thrown out of sparring once for roughhouse tactics. Was getting jabbed by a tall guy, so I threw him on the ropes and slugged it out with him. And the coach screamed at me and kicked me out, laugh out loud. So basically, what you're saying is, Nordic, you're basically the Scottish Andre Ward. Like you're a dirty cunt. You're the Scottish Andre Ward. Yeah, controlling your temper in sparring is very important, yeah. I was always decent at that in sparring, though. So I never used to like to fight up close. I'm a lanky guy kind of thing. I like to kind of sit on the outside and be a bit of a sniper, I guess I would say. I think I would have been suited to amateur boxing, but like pro style, I'd have got fucked up, honestly. I'd have got fucked up. I didn't like the body shots. Yeah, reference Cotto. Prime Canelo with almost 100 pro fights, 50 plus smokers, wasn't even as good as Pacquiao, but he's walking through hard punching light heavyweights, while also looking worse himself. Yeah. Yeah, the Kovalev fight to me was suspect, man. Now, whether he had a script or whether he was just depleted due to the clauses in the contract, who knows? But what we do know is that wasn't the Kovalev we're used to seeing, whatever reason that is. That's why I don't understand why people are so against the idea that that fight could have been fixed. I mean, I don't blame anybody for saying that. I really don't. I mean, look at the Danny Jacobs fight. Like, to me, that fight, if any fight proved Canelo is beatable, it was the Danny Jacobs fight. Danny Jacobs in that fight looked so dry. And to me, he had a lot of success. I thought he won 4 rounds in that fight while being extremely dry. To me, that fight made Canelo look very beatable, the Danny Jacobs fight. I enjoyed that fight more than most people did. I thought Danny did better than people gave him credit for, but he didn't have the energy in that fight. He didn't have the energy. But yeah, Canelo is beatable. He is beatable. If it's, on the up and up. But we'll see. I don't think the Plant fight... I just don't think Plant's good enough. Even if it is like a real... He's like not got any handicaps. I just don't think he's good enough. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Kalle Sauerland's a bad influence on Froch. Yeah, sniffing coke. Okay, Scott Fitzgerald is bipolar diagnosed in his early teens, so I can't hate on him too much. I think he's done amazing. Ask his dad about him. Yeah, when he came back earlier this year in like an 8-rounder after a long time out. And I remember the interviews before that fight, and he was obviously medicated. Like his eyes looked weird. His voice was different. It looked so weird. If you saw those interviews before his comeback, he fought on some random matchroom card on like an 8-rounder, and his whole demeanor was so strange. So strange. He was definitely medicated. Had to be. Froch used to hate Kalle Sauerland. I remember him saying he'd knock him out in 2010. I at least hope this amazing commentary and analysis of brutal fights and massacres gets you some great UK lady love. Dear. Yeah, he blew it, yeah. Even if he does come back now, once you've kind of abused your body like that with drugs and God knows what else, I can't see him really doing much, to be honest. Like, he could have made good money, Scott Fitzgerald. He could have made good money. Who knows, man? Who knows? It'll be interesting. That's the only thing that kind of intrigues me about this fight. If it is competitive and it goes for decision, I'm kind of intrigued. I'm kind of intrigued. Fuck off, J-Dav. Big Gareth A. Davis fan. The guy's an arse clown. I don't even listen to that guy, Gareth A. Davis. He's just a prostitute, I guess you would call him. Yeah, I know some nice scousers, but a few bad apples spoil the bunch, as they say. Yeah, yeah. When I went to, I've been there a couple of times, and yeah, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. Yeah, we'll see. These days, though, with Canelo, I just don't expect much going into these fights. I got excited for the Kovalev fight, but was very disappointed with the outcome. Not even the outcome, but just how Kovalev looked. I was very disappointed because I knew that wasn't Kovalev. So, and ever since then, man, I found it hard to get invested. Like, the Callum Smith fight to me was plain as day to call. I said before that fight, my exact words were, Callum Smith's going to do his best Joshua Clottey impression when Clottey fought Pacquiao. And that's basically what happened. Yeah, Ward Froch. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that as well. A Ward Froch rematch in Nottingham. Yeah, that'd have been a good fight. Would have been interesting. See, we never saw that from Andre Ward. We never saw him fight away from home outside of his comfort zone. Never saw it. He was the only guy in the Super Six who never fought away from home. Like, Froch fought in America. He fought in Finland. He did fight in the UK as well, but he fought away from home. Abraham fought away from home. Durrell fought away from home. Glenn Johnson fought away from home. Jermaine Taylor fought away from home. Everyone fought away from home apart from Andre Ward. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah. Klitschko's father, worked in the military zone. Worked in Chernobyl. Sorry, yeah. He was with. Yeah, they was military brats for Klitschko's. Yeah. Maybe, Dickie. I just think it was one of those things, man. He made a dumb mistake. He got caught, and he paid for it. I think it was what it was. Really, it was what it was. Okay, Tony Dixon scored an upset. I never knew there was a DAZN card. Honestly, I fucking never knew. Was that like an Italian? Is it Italian card or something like that? Yeah, Plant could wind up Canelo at the weigh-in. He'd wind me up, to be honest. I don't like Caleb Plant. Something about that guy winds me up. Yeah, I was embarrassed, and I channeled my inner Andre Ward. I was 17, to be fair, and absolutely hated losing. Yeah, I know what you mean. I can see why fighters do kind of get to that stage where they start fouling. I can see why. Yeah, consider Yan just had a son. Sleep hygiene is shit with a newborn, leads to poor recovery, poor memory, and learning ability. Mind somewhere else. Yeah, maybe he looked bad. He looked really good against Israel Adesanya. He looked really good, man. His striking was on point. His feet were great. Distance control. Wrestled when he had to. Looked super strong. But yeah, against Glover, man, he just looked so off. He looked so off. But, congrats to Glover, 42 years old. Guy's, having an Indian summer in his career. You just don't get things like that in boxing that regular. Those sort of fights, those big upsets or... Like I said earlier, I'm seriously considering watching the UFC card. over Canelo. It's a really good card, man. Yeah, Canelo is good at slipping the first shot, but when punches comes in, like they come in 2s and 3s, he does get caught. Canelo Alvarez. And when Danny actually threw like 3 or 4 punch combos, like he was catching Canelo at the end of the combo quite regularly, but he just couldn't keep it up in that fight. Like you could see when Danny started that fight, he was dry. He wasn't sweating or anything like that. And people say, oh, yeah, there was a rehydration clause, but Danny Jacobs blew it. Yeah, he blew it by like a pound. He never fully rehydrated. He never fully rehydrated. He caught Canelo with a couple of real hard shots in that fight. I don't think he was pulling his punches. I just think the guy was dry as fuck. Honestly, I think he was dry as fuck in that one. Yeah, Eddie Hearn saying Vlasov is merely a stepping stone to a world title for Bowatsi, but who would win in a Vlasov-Bivol bout? Yeah, exactly. I think that's a great fight, bro. I'm picking Vlasov to beat Bowatsi. I'll be very impressed if Bowatsi beats Vlasov. Like genuinely beats him. I'll be very impressed. Because Vlasov is a top 5. He should be a champion, Maxime Vlasov. He beat Joe Smith 8 rounds to 4, in my opinion. So if Bowatsi can beat that dude, that's a big win. Big win if he beats Vlasov. I'm surprised they made that fight. But I'm pleasantly surprised. Del, yeah, man, I remember those interviews. Make so much sense now. You were saying he's medicated. Thought he was just awkward and shy because of what had happened. Yeah, to me, he looked off. He looked really off in those interviews. Yeah, but Canelo can take a punch. I don't think he's been down in the professionals, and if he lands on you, you are done. Plant has no chance. I wouldn't go that far. I don't think Canelo hits like he's not like a one punch knockout artist, but he does punch hard enough. I think he'll break down Caleb in the fight. But again, I don't like either guy. Quite frankly, I don't like what Canelo. Like, I don't like how he represents the sport. To be honest, I don't like all of the rigmarole that comes with his fights. I don't like the A-side abuse of, the abuse of A-side politics. There's a lot I don't like about Canelo, but I just don't like Caleb Plant either, to be honest. I find the guy irritating, unlikable. I don't particularly like his style either, to be honest. So I don't care who wins, man, but all I want to see is a good fight. In a pound-for-pound sense, absolutely. Absolutely. I big up JDAV, by the way. I just see that come through. Thanks for persisting with consistently high quality on this channel, even after your second channel blew up. Much respect, Derek. Big up to JDAV, man. Thank you for the contribution, man. Much appreciated. As I said, man, that's my second channel. This is still the main channel. Never forget that. Never forget. But yeah, big up to JDAV, man. Big up to JDAV. Much appreciated. Yeah, Bowatzi's a strange one. He always does enough to win, but it's hard to tell how good he is. Yeah, he's good to watch, Bowatsi. I'll say that much. He is good to watch. He's aggressive. He's got nice punch technique. When he lets him go, he can land some nice combos, good body puncher. He's good to watch, but I think there's a lot of holes there defensively. I don't like how he squares up when he throws those combinations to the body. And against a rangy straight puncher like Vlasov, I don't know, man. The gad, here he is. Have you seen my new sunglasses? Yeah. Yeah, Ward lost his passport, no doubt. Yeah, man, it's a good card, man. Listen, the main event is what it is. It's a fun heavyweight fight. It doesn't really hold too many consequences for the division, but it's a fun fight. But you've got Bowatsi versus Vlasov on the undercard. Gongora versus Richards, another good fight. It's a good card. Okay, Italian card. Okay, cool. Not sure actually. I've not seen him. Not seen him for a little while. I would have thought they would have put him on the Anthony Yard card. That would have made sense. Yeah, I'd imagine Scott Fitzgerald is too much of a headache for Eddie Hearn. And to be honest, you guys know I'm a bit critical of Eddie Hearn, but it's not Eddie Hearn's responsibility to make sure Scott Fitzgerald's okay. It's not his responsibility, quite frankly. So people are saying, "Oh, Eddie needs to do more for him." I mean, he's a promoter. He makes fights. You know, he puts them on shows. It's not Eddie Hearn's job to make sure this guy's okay. I know people like to dig on Eddie Hearn, and I do, quite frankly, but I can't criticize Eddie Hearn for that. Yeah, Kayla Plant's got a jacked up fucking hairline, MS-22. But yeah, big up to J-Dav again, by the way. Oh my god, both guys are 40 plus. Main event, that's the zone for you. Game changed. Fucking hell. Game changed. Two 40-year-olds fighting in Italy. Fucking hell. Yeah, he took a lot of shots against Fowler, CJNG. He took a lot of shots. And then, yeah, Liam Smith fucked him up. Yeah, he does square up. He does. And against Vlasov, man, who is a really nice straight puncher, he can, and even up close, he can straighten those shots quite well. I don't know, man. I think Vlasov's a really hard style for Bowatsi. He's taller, he's longer, he's more experienced, he's strong, he's got a great chin. He hits relatively hard. He can box a bit. That's a hard fight, man. Who's the worst coach in their respective sports? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Rob McCracken? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I actually think Rob is a good trainer for certain guys, Jay. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is terrible, man. Like even I think Rob's done a good job with Joshua. I really do. But I think he's kind of found his level with Joshua. Joshua probably at this time needs to learn, needs to go to somebody else to learn a bit more. But I think Rob's a good trainer. I do think he's a good trainer. And apparently it wasn't Rob who was shouting brilliant, AJ, by the way. Apparently it was somebody else. I think it might have been Joby Clayton or Angel Fernandez, whatever his name is. Yeah, Yumi and Mark need to watch another fight live on stream again. We could do some cool retrospective breakdowns of some classics. Yeah, that was really enjoyable, Nordic, when we did that Steve Collins fight. Because I've never seen that fight, so it made it even more enjoyable. That fight flew by as well. Just good to watch, man. Really good fight. Really good fight. I'd like to do that again. Don Charles, I would say. Don Charles. Yeah, Frankie Lampard's not great. Frankie Lampard isn't great. I would still say Frank Lampard's better than Solskjaer. He's one of Frank's best talents, yeah, no doubt. He needs to put him on that card. Yeah, there are certain guys, man, who just can't be helped, unfortunately. Again, it's got to come down to an internal decision where you kind of brush yourself down and you realize you've been fucking up and you change your ways. I'm sure we've all gone through that moment in our lives at some point in time. Maybe not to that extent, but we've all had those realizations where, we realized we were fucking up. We realized that, we can blame other people, but ultimately it's our fault. It's down to us, kind of thing. So it's one of those, man. It's one of those. We've all had those moments. We've all had those crossroads. I had mine back in 2013. I left college. You know, I had no money to my name. I had no job. I went into quote unquote business with a friend, which wasn't exactly the most legitimate thing in the world, but one thing led to another. Me and him fell out over money, had a big fallout, blah blah blah, and yeah, that was a crazy time. I think I told this story before, but that was crazy. And I remember that night I was in my car just sitting listening to a song, and I've realized, man, shit, I've wasted so much fucking time. I've been fucking up, and it's my own fault. I could say, oh, I got involved in the wrong crowd, blah blah blah, but it was my fault. My mum and my dad raised me correct. You know, had the great upbringing. You know, it's my fault, kind of thing. And that's what I've took that to heart ever since then, to try and be more accountable for my own direction, where I'm going. And sometimes, we always kind of get to that point in time where we feel a bit sorry for ourselves, but you got to snap out of that as soon as possible, and just strive forwards, try and make contingency plans, better yourself. And that's what the last 18 months have told me in particular. I realized that, I don't like the way the world is going. So outside of my 9 to 5, my 9 to 5 is the money I use to live on. But outside of my 9 to 5, I've busted my balls to try and make income outside of work, where I'm not dependent on working for somebody else, kind of thing. And eventually I want to get to the stage where I can quit my job and just do what I want to do, and work for me, work when I want to work. And that's it. That's my goal. Will I get there? Who the fuck knows? But I'll try. All I'm aiming for is that I can look myself in the mirror. If it doesn't work out, I can say I tried. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. But yeah, hopefully Scott Fitzgerald gets better. Hopefully he finds the inner strength to pull himself through and get back in the ring and get some great fights. Oh yeah, it's funny you're saying that, man. I was watching the All Access. That guy looks doped out. He looks doped out. He could be a vegan though. He could be a vegan. Like I saw that. I think it was yourself actually, and there was like a series on Instagram or Twitter or something, and it was like vegan or crackhead, and you had to guess, or vegan or dope fiend, something like that, and you had to guess whether they was like a vegan or a dope fiend. It's either or, man. It's either or. But yeah, his trainer doesn't look well. He doesn't look well. Yeah, that was a great stream, man. Yeah. I think Rob McCracken more than likely now is sticking around for the payday. I don't blame him either. Oh no. He's in prison, bro. He's serving, I think, about 12 years for like an armed robbery. So is what it is, man. Indeed, man. But you just gotta train your mind not to think that way. Especially in this day and age, we kind of brainwashed to say it's okay to be a victim. It's okay to, we can point the finger, we can relieve ourselves of responsibility, but it doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. Big up to BG, by the way. Salute to BG London. I'm gonna say vegan. In all seriousness, I'm gonna say vegan. I'm on an 8 to 4 at the moment. I hate getting up that early. I'm not a morning person, bro. When it comes to work, man, like my 9 to 5, I'm not a fucking any time of day person. Yeah, he fought some European competition. JDAV, Alan Babbage. Methyl vegan. uh, honestly, yeah, I think I'd rather have a year on meth than be a vegan for a year. maybe not meth, but I'd probably say a year on heroin over a year on being a vegan. I couldn't live without eating meat, man. Could be both, yeah, could be both. I'm saying round 9. 7 to 9, I'm saying. I saw Fight Film's video on that dude, and yeah, or Carnival on the Carnival channel, or Carnival, and yeah, I saw the video on that dude. He's definitely odd. He's definitely odd. After he made that video, I went back and watched that guy's videos. You know, that Savage, whatever whatever his fucking name is, and yeah, that guy's a weirdo. Yeah, I've got some steak in the fridge, man. I need to cook that tomorrow. Eddie let Barry out for Halloween. Let him out the cupboard. Okay, is this fucking weigh-in happening yet? Okay, the weigh-in's about to happen. I'll talk you through it, maybe. Oh yeah, his forehead's bigger than my future, man. You could put a dartboard on his forehead. He's just a bit odd though, that guy. Okay, so they're just introducing Caleb Plant. He's dressed in all white. Look at this guy, man. Yeah, he's like a rebellious 14-year-old who never grew out of his nobody understands me edgelord phase. Yeah. Plant's getting booed to fuck. Yeah, he is. Canelo's wearing all fucking gold or yellow, whatever the fuck that is. Canelo doing the Nazi salute by looks of it. Jesus. Christ. Nah, he's just waving to the crowd. I think he should do. If he genuinely beats Vlasov, he's ready for a title shot, in my opinion. Because Vlasov should be a champion. Okay, so Caleb Plant is weighing in right now. He looks in good nick. He looks thick. Thicker than I've seen him. Giving a wink to the camera. Looking down at the scale. 167, Caleb Plant, dead on 167. He looks in good nick, Caleb Plant. He does look in good nick. Now here comes Canelo Alvarez. So yeah, 167 for Caleb Plant. Now it's Saul Alvarez. Fucking Alvarez looks like a fucking tank. $168 on the dot for Canelo Alvarez. 168 on the dot. Both guys looking good nick. As you would expect, though, to be honest. So yeah, 168 on the dot for Canelo. 167 on the dot for Caleb Plant. Interesting. But yeah, Canelo looks ripped. Plant looks lean, but he looks thicker than usual. I'll be interested to see what Caleb... Hang on, yeah, they're about to face off. I don't know, Caleb Plant does have some fans. There's a few USA chants. Mike Tyson's in the background. Mike Tyson's looking old as fuck. He's probably high as fuck as well. He's looking high as fuck. Cheesy grin on his face. Man, he's biting on that chewing gum like he was biting on Holyfield's ear, man. Mike Tyson's loving it. Okay, they're both doing a little, yeah. They're about to face off. They're facing off now. Let's have a look. Okay, they're holding them back. Canelo's talking shit. Canelo's looking amped up and animated. Caleb Plant's doing those gun signs. Canelo's pointing at him. Caleb Plant is so cringe, man. Throwing up gang signs. But yeah, Canelo looks definitely more amped up for this one. He looks a bit wound up. I think Nordic was saying maybe that's Caleb's only real chance is to get Canelo really kind of amped up and wound up, get him emotionally invested. They're both still talking shit. All I'm saying is hopefully Caleb Plant's not just here to sell his belt. That's all I'm hoping for, really. Okay, Jim Gray's coming in. I swear Jim Gray's autistic as well, by the way. The guy's got no ability to read social interactions at all. Okay, interviewing Caleb Plant, not really saying much. Here we go. Oh my God, Caleb Plant's such a clown. Oh, it's easy to sit in those seats and boo, but it's not easy to do what I do. This guy's such a fucking clown, man. He's such a clown. It kind of makes you question yourself when Canelo's fighting somebody that almost makes you want to root for Canelo. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, looks like Canelo's getting his interview now. Yeah, Canelo's not saying too much. You'll see tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is, man. Canelo, for every action, there's a reaction. That's his little phrase now. Fuck that shit. I'm bored of it. Yeah, Plant would walk into the 8 Mile song. That would be epic cringe, yeah. The guy is cringy, though, Caleb Plant. Like, I don't like the guy at all, honestly. I really don't. And honestly, it's not even that. I just don't think he's that good. I don't think he's that good. The only thing is, at least he looks in good shape. He looks in the best shape of his career. Hopefully his cardio is much better than it's previously been, because that's going to be a big factor in this one, is the cardio. Because against Uskatigi, man, he faded in that fight. He won it. He definitely won that fight, but the last 4 or so rounds, he really faded. And even against Porky Medina as well. And those were fights that, for the most part, he kind of managed the pace. So we'll see. Yeah, can't wait for Canelo to knock that fool out. Stop trying to be something you're not. Embarrassing. Yeah. I want to be like Mike. Christ. Just walls of steak smileys in the PPC chat. Yeah, luck is for the mediocre. Yeah, I've heard that one before. I was born ready. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. It just doesn't feel like a big fight, does it? This one, to me, it doesn't. Anyway, I've not really seen too much buzz on social media. Again, like on my timeline, most of the buzz has been about UFC. Yeah, Plant is garbage, but we'll enjoy it. We'll enjoy the shit show nonetheless. Yeah. Again, all I'm hoping for is that it's a genuine fight, man. Caleb comes to win. He gives it a go. Makes it a fight. That's all I'm hoping for. That's why I was so disappointed by Billy Joe Saunders as well, because Saunders was actually giving Canelo some sort of trouble, but at the first sign of trouble, man, he pulled out himself. So. Yeah, Canelo's little voice kills me too. I was born ready. I can't do his voice, but yeah, I'm not too buzzed for it either. Yeah, it doesn't have that big fight feel. Like Fury Wilder 3 had a big fight feel, no matter what people said about it. I was hyped for it. I was hyped for it in the end. At the time when it first got announced, I didn't really want it, to be honest. But as it got closer, you could feel that it was a big fight. But this one, nah, it doesn't feel like it to me. Maybe I feel different when they are in the ring, maybe, but it's not doing it for me. It's not going to happen, eat a punch. Until we've seen major signs of slippage in Beterbiev, that's not going to happen. You're a horrible fighter. Get the fuck out of here, man. I'll probably stay up and watch it, man. I'll need to get a lot of coffee in, though. A lot of coffee, couple of Red Bulls. I saw some fucking idiot on my timeline saying Conor Benn would beat Sean Porter. What a fucking idiot, man. Christ. Yeah, hasn't got a big fight feel at all. I'm not buzzing for it, at least not to the normal level. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Yep, UFC watching it. Yeah, the UFC is great. The UFC has a great card top to bottom. The main event's going to be sick as well. I like both guys, man. I like Usman. I like Covington. It's going to be a good fight, man. Although Usman looks fucking juiced out of his mind. He looks fucking... He's got more injection sites. He's got more pimples than a fucking 14-year-old boy. It's crazy. Yeah, I'll only stay up and watch it if I can join an epic live stream with lots of characters. I'm not going to pay for it, man. I'm not fucking pay for that shit. I'll stream it, but... The build-up's been okay, I guess. Yeah, it's been okay. Win, lose or draw, Plant exposes the hype job tomorrow. I wonder. I just have no faith in Plant whatsoever, to be honest with you. So if it's anything less than a domination for Canelo Alvarez, yeah, I'll be disappointed in Canelo and critical. We'll see, man. The only interesting factor is that it's PBC. That's the only interesting factor about this fight is that it's PBC. Plant is the PBC fighter. You know, that could be interesting, but yeah, Eddie's good at selling. I remember back in the day, Josh Kelly would beat Errol Spence Jr. Was on the timeline. Yep. What was it about Josh Kelly? He's the next. He's like the Roy Jones combined with Lomachenko. All that shit. He's like a British Lomachenko. Fucking hell. Yeah, I'll watch the UFC card to start with, and I'll see how that goes, and I'll make my decision at the time. But you know, Covington Usman's going to be a good fight. That's going to be a good fight for as long as it lasts. Canelo's winning, boring. Yeah, exactly. I think Caleb will go out on his shield, at least give everything. I hope so, man. I hope so. That's all he can really ask for. He goes in there and fights to the best of his ability. And if he loses, he loses. Can't really complain about that. Can't really complain about it. Remember, boxing is percent mental. Plant is coming to win. I hope so, man. I hope so. If he wins 4 rounds, I'll be very impressed. I'll be very impressed. And if he does win 4 rounds, does he get a decision? Again, I'll go back to that. No matter what happens, Canelo's a cum rack. I've got Canelo sort of 9th round stoppage, something like that. Yeah, Sky in his second fight was saying he's like Lomachenko, so skilled, laugh out loud, that aged well. No, you're not going to get a. I'm not going to endorse Caleb Plant anytime soon. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Colby's too tough. If he gets knocked out, it'll take a round or two. It'll take a couple of rounds. Like the first fight, he was taking those shots fine until his jaw got broken. So Colby's going to stick around. He's a tough kid and he's got great cardio. So I think that'll be maybe a late stoppage. If Colby does get stopped, it'll be late. I can't see Colby stopping Usman from punches. If Colby the thing is with Usman, man, his takedown defense is so good. Colby's a good wrestler, but it's getting Usman down is hard. I think Covington's best chance is somehow he gets Usman's back and maybe he lands a rear naked and chokes him out. That's his best chance, in my opinion. But the first fight was super competitive, though. Like, it was very competitive. Colby was winning rounds, but the punches of Usman just had more power. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah, Josh Kelly was compared to everybody who had like an athletic style when he turned pro. He was compared to Roy Jones, Prince Nazim, Lomachenko, Sergio Martinez, I heard some people compare him to. It was ridiculous for hype for Josh Kelly. Ridiculous. I'm not really convinced by Canelo's ring IQ per se. For me, nobody's really fought the right fight against Canelo to really prove that or test that. Golovkin did. I felt in the second fight, Canelo fought really well, actually. He did make some good tactical decisions in that fight, but I've not seen Canelo do it on a regular enough basis. Like, when a guy truly came to win, he never truly neutralized his opponent, whether it be Golovkin in both fights, whether it be Lara, whether it be Mayweather, even Miguel Cotto. Like, he never neutralized those guys truly, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Canelo's one of I just feel like shortchanged every single time I see Canelo fight. And I can see why people question the legitimacy of some of his fights. I do myself. But there you go. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. We've been going for like nearly 2 hours. That's long enough, I think. Hopefully you enjoy the fights this weekend. Hopefully Caleb Plant comes to fight. We shall see. And yeah, man, have a good weekend. There's an off chance I might do a live stream tomorrow. Maybe even cover the fight. Who knows? But I doubt it. So don't hold out for that. But yeah, man, have a good weekend, guys. Peace.